Hello, this is Obsessive Gaming Chronology, with the history of video games, year by year, game by game. Today, we're continuing with 101 basic computer games, with yet another puzzle game, this one being called Flip Flop. It's a funny sounding kind of name, but it's a fairly simple puzzle game in reality. So, a little bit of quick history on this. We don't actually know a whole lot about this game. All we really know is that it was developed by a guy named Michael Cass, who's probably a high school student at the time. Unfortunately, we don't really know anything else about him other than that. There are a few more Michael Casses out there that are relatively well known. However, any kind of connection that you can make is really only speculative. There's nothing concrete to go by. So this game that Cass made, Flip Flop, has a fairly simple objective. As you can see here, the objective is to change this sequence of 10 X's into O's. And how you do this is by typing the corresponding number with each X. However, there's a catch. Sometimes the number won't always flip just its own X, but it may flip a different one. So I could select 1, and it could flip itself and 6 into O's. And it doesn't always go one way. Like, if I selected 6, that wouldn't turn 1 back off. It's kind of like a binary switch sort of puzzle, if you want to think about it that way. Like, X is the off position, O is the on position. You can think about it like that. It's a fairly simple game. Each time you play it, what each number does is randomized. So that can result in games being really, really easy or really difficult to figure out. And it can kind of go either way. So we'll play a couple of rounds and hopefully they're not too bad, because sometimes I get ones that are really, really bad and it takes a long time to try and figure them out. So here's hoping that we get a couple of decent ones. So let's get into this. I'm going to start with 1, and you can see already that 1 has flipped itself and 2. So I'm just going to skip 2 and see what 3 does. So 3 has also flipped 9. 4 has just done itself. 5 has flipped off 3. So that's interesting. So I hit 3 again, and it's going to flip itself and 9 again. 6 has flipped 8. 7's just done itself. 9 has flipped 7, which is fine, because that just flipped itself. And 10 has flipped 4. So did 4 do anything else? It flipped 9. So if I flip 9, it's flipped 7, but that's fine. And then I can do 4. Or did I get that wrong? Ah, it's 3. 3 is the one that I wanted to flip. Oops, I think I forgot to input a number there. There we go, figured it out. If you don't get it in under 12 guesses, it just tells you to try harder. Just get good scrub. Let's have another round. See if we can do any better. 1 has turned itself on, and 7. 2 turned 1 off. That's interesting. Although sometimes some pretty weird things can happen as well. You notice there that the first time I selected 2, it flipped itself and 1, and the second time it flipped itself and 5. Can get a little bit strange. 3 has done itself and 4. 5 has done itself and 9. 6 has done itself and 8. 7 did itself and 2. Which means 5 will turn itself off again, so I should do 2. Or we can see there it's done 1 again, so I don't know what this thing is doing. You can kind of get stuck in these kind of loops where it's just you can't figure anything out. As you see 24 guesses there because as you could see there was even inconsistency in what numbers flipped what because sometimes 2 flipped 5, sometimes it flipped 1. Doesn't really know what it's doing. We'll do one more because I don't want to drag this video out too long. This can get a bit long playing this game and it's not really all that fun either. So we'll just stick with it just for a little bit longer and hopefully the game is nice to me. I'm kind of stuck here with 7 not really doing what I want it to do. There we go. Okay, figured that out. 17 guesses, not great. Sometimes you can get lucky and you can get it in 8 or 9, and then the game doesn't berate you. Not going to do any more of that. I don't really see the need to. I think you get the idea of the game. Wouldn't really recommend playing it, to be perfectly honest. It's not really that great. So if you liked the video, be sure to like, share it, comment, subscribe, do all the great stuff for the algorithm. Check out the Discord and the Patreon. Make sure that you go and read the blog so you can get the full history and my full thoughts on the game. And we will see you next week for another slice of gaming history. Bye.